What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Sarah McLachlan, and we're returning to her 1993/1994 album, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy. Thank you again to Michaela. And the next tune is Mary. Just Mary. I talk about a lot how a single word title is tough to get a read on, and even more so when it's a proper name, and even more so when it's only a given name. Now, certainly, historically, mythologically, pop culturally, there are many examples of famous Marys who could be the subject. It could, of course, just be a character created for the song, and perhaps one that could be on some level autobiographical for Sarah, or indeed just an entirely fictitious person to express ideas or to take part in a narrative. So it's really hard to get a read on this one. I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Sarah McLachlan. The track is Mary, and it's from her 1993/94 album, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy.
Mary walks down to the water's edge, and there she hangs her head to find herself feed the shadow of what she once was. She said, "How long have I been sleeping, and why do I feel so warm? Why do I feel so cold? My heart is saying one thing, but my body won't let go." With trembling hand she reaches out, the strangest flesh is offered, and I would be the last to know. I would be the last to let it show. I would be the last to go. Take her hand, she will lead you through the fire. Oh, and give you back hope, and hope that you won't take too much. Respecting what is left, she cradled us. Oh, she held us in her arms. Unselfish in her suffering, she could not understand. And no one seemed to have the time to cherish what was given. Oh, and I would be the last to know, and I would be the last to let it show. I would be the last to go.
What a fascinating tune. So sonically, I very much appreciate the composition. It has this not exactly down tempo, but it has a slower, more folksy type of rhythm to it. It certainly has some beautiful melodies along the way, a little like keyboard rhythm, like felt very subtle, but also some nice warm and rich bass chords, I guess. And her voice, again, very expressive singing, especially by the end where it feels like she pushes it to another level and maybe there's some doubling of her voice. I'm not sure about that, but she does have a very unique way of singing. It's definitely the kind of voice, you hear it a few times, you're probably going to remember or be able to pick it out of a vocal crowd. And yes, there's a, what's the right word? Like, I don't know if it's like a crack or like a deliberate, I assume it's deliberate, but there's like a shift that she does where it sort of goes to this next level and it has a very, it's like a slide or something. It's not like a, it's not a vibrato, it's not a, sort of key change. It's just like this like shift that she does, and there's a couple moments where that really stood out to me. But yeah, lyrically, it's like my understanding evolved over the course of the tune. At first, there's this image of her walking to the water and looking at what we hear is a shadow of who she used to be, and so I'm thinking about the passage of time, and then it almost seemed to be suggesting like, her heart wants one thing, but her body's holding on, so I'm thinking maybe she's reached the end of her lifespan, but, she feels like her heart is ready to go, so to speak, but her body's persisting. But then it was like she reaches out her hands for like a stranger's flesh, was it? So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is about, she's found her solitude of later life, but then there's someone who comes into her life, a presence that like her body and her feelings are still resonating with. But then it was like she cradled us in her arms and she didn't understand, what was it, like the selfishness or something of others. And then I'm thinking like maybe this is about like a scriptural, the scriptural Mary, and about, how she sacrificed and did what she had to do. But then it got near the end, and now of course I'm blanking on the line, but there was another line where I felt like maybe this is not about a scriptural concept, but more about a character who is going through some life transition or transformation, and it's not necessarily the end of her life, but it's about, her becoming a new person, and what was it, like giving hope to others, but then the others maybe aren't taking all of that hope. So really interesting pieces lyrically and thematically. I don't quite know how it all stretches together in a narrative, but I'm curious to hear what people will have to say. And again, you can tell she has a very like lyrical / musical poet sort of sound. It's definitely, sort of off the beaten path a little bit, even if it has, catchy melodies and compelling vocals. It really feels like a bit of a, a folk poet creativity. So enjoying the journey through the album. As I will keep mentioning, there was only one track that I really knew from her before this, and it was actually like a remix of the track. So getting more of her music over time allows me to start forming some understandings about what she does musically, vocally, and lyrically. So obviously still in the germinal stage of that, but enjoying the journey. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you next time. Peace.